Hello, everyone. Just check. Are you on?
Hello. Is it working?
Yep, there we go.
Okay.
Hello. We're here to talk to you about build books and feedback. This is winning pages and cosplay critiques.
It's panel sort of in three parts. So the first part is about build books. If you don't know what a build book is, stay here because we'll tell you. And the second part is about feedback, so sort of giving and receiving feedback as a cosplayer, especially one that competes. And part three is sort of a Q&A.
Yeah, a lot of this will be competitively costume focused. I am hoping that is an interest for you all. If not, it might be. For introductions, I am Matthew. My cosplay name is also Matthew, easy to remember. And
I'm Chloecat Cosplay. My name is Chloe, so my name is also my cosplay name, but I've put a bit of a flair because I like cats.
And joining us is our wonderful cat, Morris. There he is. He'll be popping up all throughout the presentation. I love him to pieces, and you're going to love him as well. This is a threat. All right, let's get cracking. So, build books. Build books, there we go. What is a build book? So, anyone here actually not know what a build book is? Do we have a show of hands here? Hands up, do you not know? Okay, we've got a couple of people. When it comes to competing, a build book is a portfolio that shows how you made everything. Not every level will require a build book. It's mainly that advanced level and master level, you'll have a lot that you need to say, and prejudging probably won't cover everything. A book with everything written down, explaining more advanced points and techniques, all in your build book and presented neatly. That is what we're talking about here first. When should you bring one is a good point. As I said, it's more of an advanced thing that you'll often want to bring it at. The contest today, everyone has a build book presented for it, primarily so that we can go through points in our own time during deliberation, so we can debate things a little bit more, so we can clarify points. Maybe someone forgot something in prejudging. It happens a lot more than you'd think.
So when should you build one? I would say when you want to bring one.
Yeah.
Would you say?
Honestly, bring one when you want to bring one. When you feel like you've got more there that you want to make sure is read, it's perfect for exactly that.
There is no harm in bringing one.
There's never any harm from bringing one.
Why bring one?
Well, like I said, it clarifies points. Plenty of people, like I was saying, do forget to say stuff in prejudging. You're in the room, you're there with your judges, you might panic, forget, you walk out the room and go, I forgot to talk about my wig. But your book has you covered. It's insurance more than anything else. It can go through there and bring it up so they can find it for themselves in their own time.
Next slide.
You said you tested this from the other side of the room. I trusted you. There we go.
Okay.
All right. So there is a singular correct way of making a build book.
Everyone will have a different way that they will tell you, this is the best way to write a build book.
And they're all wrong, and I'm about to be right because there is... Oh, this joke does not land if it's going slow. Work with me, Morris. There is an objectively correct way. Okay, I'll skip the joke here. The way... I'm going to stand over here. Oh, there we go. It is your way. Everyone is entitled to do a build book whatever way they want to. If you can justify a 500-text essay-style book justifying why your rocket-powered boots need all this information, you go for it. You do it. If you feel like there is a reason to make it as long as you need or as short as you need, you do it. So long as you can justify it to yourself. What we're mainly going to talk about now is how to accommodate your build book to a judging panel. We'll go through the different types in just 1 second, but realistically, you can write a build book for yourself. If this is a portfolio piece and you want to hold on to it and it's something that you are proud of, you're valid. You do it, that's great. But here is how to accommodate it to judges. Now,
How many types of judges are there?
there are 4 types of judges that I often find when it comes to coming through build books. Our first type, and a tragically common type, the one who won't read it. They're going to pick up your build book and thank you. And that is the last they ever see of it. They may not go through it at all. They may not even look at it. All they'll do is get the weight of it and put it down. There is a tragically large number. It's something that can happen. We do have a few ways you can accommodate to this type of judge that we'll go through shortly. But even still, you can't really do a lot for a judge that's not going to give it the time of day.
They might not feel like they need to look through it if they've seen your work in prejudging and they've sort of gather everything from that. They don't need to necessarily look through it. Sometimes there's not enough time to look through everybody's build book. You don't get given a lot of time.
It does vary from convention to convention, contest to contest. Not everyone will have the time. Not everyone will be able to make the time. But it is a type to look out for. Our second type. I put way too many effects in this PowerPoint. Oh my God.
It works really well when the clicker works.
There we go. Your second type of judge, also quite common. They're just going to look through your pretty photos. So in the build book, you want to have lots of photos showing your step-by-step on how you made everything. They're going to glance through it and look at the photos. That's as far as it goes for them. Front cover, middle, go through the photos, down again. That's all they're going to look at.
And this is why taking pictures of your build is really important.
Got a highlight for that. Please take lots of photos as you're making your costumes, just so you can get it all into your build book.
The next one.
There we go. Now, this is the most common. They're going to pick out every other word that you write in your text. They're going to look at your... I'll pass you down. Thank you. They're going to pick out every other word. They won't read it cover to cover, but they'll pick out sentences as they're skimming through it and look at the photos as well. Probably your best type of judge to get. I will admit that's the type of judge I am, just because it is quite fast-paced in judging. We don't get a lot of time, but I will try and make an effort to go through. Again, I would probably say this is the most common type we get. My clicker. Thank you. And the scariest type of judge, the one who is going to read it to the grammatical errors.
This is very rare, this type of judge, but they do exist.
Yeah, I have judged with all these types of judges. I have been judged by all of these types of judges, and I find the one that's going to read it to the grammatical error the scariest. They're going to pick out every time you should have put a comma in it. They're going to find every little thing. They're going to read this like it is all that matters. The rarest, but they will be thorough, so at least you can count on that. Now, each one of these type of judges that you may face while you're competing, here is how you can appeal to them. So for that first type of judge, the one who's only going to pick it up and put it down, the way that you present your build book is everything now. This is such a minor point. A build book is not something that's officially graded. You're not going to get a return back on it saying, I really liked how you did this in your build book. We're here for your costume, after all. The build book is totally secondary. However, the power of leaving a good impression is so powerful. If your work is presented in a very nice, well-organized fashion, it leaves a positive impression. If it's professional, they're going to assume that your work is more professional by default. This is an uncontrolled bias that people have. They're doing association in their head that they're not aware of. I am essentially talking 4D chess here, just to how you can manipulate your judges by making them smile, but also include a photo of your pet. If you can make a judge smile, that is always a good thing to do. You're at con, you're in an environment where you want to be smiling and having a good time. If you can make your judges smile as well, that impression could make a slight difference later on. Put the work into your presentation because it may be the last thing that a judge is going to see with your work. That could be what they have in deliberation and makes all the difference. After your speech is done, after your stage walk is done, this could be the deciding factor. You don't know, though. We are talking pedantics here. We're talking something that might not happen, but it is a possibility. So consider that when you are making a build book that you want to present it well.
What's next?
Aside from that, there's pretty much nothing else you can do for that first type of judge. If they're not even going to read it, anything outside of the front is...
Gonna try and make them want to read it.
For that reason, how you format it is going to help a lot. I like to include a table of contents. Sometimes when it gets to judging, we need to clarify one very specific point. Did they say they made the wig themselves? Did they say they ventilated that? We need to quickly find that because we're under time pressure. Let's skip to it. Page 1, table of contents, we need to go here. Boom. Nice and simple. It's really, really quick. It's really easy. I know people get hung up a lot when it comes to build books on the page limit. It doesn't matter. Your page limit never matters unless the convention is saying your build book has got to be under 20 odd pages or whatever reason. For the most part, no convention has a limit. So I would say a table of contents is really nice. The other thing that I'd say, and this one is approved by Yaya Han, just to point out, arrange it in the order of your pre-judging speech. A lot of judges will go through your build book as you're giving your speech. If you're doing it in the same order, they can read through at the same time you are talking. If you're making life more convenient with it, they'll engage with your build book more, have references at the same time, and be able to keep up with you also. So please, put it in the same order that you're going to talk about in pre-judging. And for that reason, start with your most impressive points.
Please.
Yes. If you have made rocket-powered, nuclear, thermo-engineered boots, then please start with that. Blow us out the water. Kick us off early. For all you know, you may have that plan to finish on, but you run out of time by the end of it, and now you don't get to talk to about your rocket-powered boots.
You never want to be in a situation where the thing that was the most challenging to you, you don't get to talk about.
Yeah. What I would say is start with your most impressive points and end on things that a good judge should know. All right? You don't need to talk about every single time you used 5mm foam in depth every single time. A good judge will know what foam is. A good judge will know where it needs to be. If you run out of time and you haven't spoken about the fact that you used 5mm foam, it's cool. It's implied. We know. We're good judges. We can see that. But I would rather you spoke about your nuclear boots than your foam work, just because that's far more true. What's the word? It's more interesting. What's the word? It's something that we don't see every day.
Yeah.
It's a master level thing. It is. Word begins with an I. I'll take shout-outs from the audience here when you do something new and creative.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, thank you. Good man. If we had prizes to give out, you would win one. Yes, oh, God. Innovative. There we go.
Innovative.
Got it. All right, we're in.
This is another reason why I'm not personally a huge fan of going head to toe in prejudging. I get why people do it so that you don't forget anything if you're going head to toe. But if you do go head to toe, let's say that you have a foam breastplate and then you talk about your foam work, and then you get further down and then you've got a foam knee pad. You're just going to be talking about foam work, which you've already mentioned to the judges. They already know you know how to do that, and you're essentially wasting time.
Which brings us on to the last point. Try and order your bill book in technique order, along with your prejudging speech for that point too. Most construction contests, and I do highlight it is most, not all, they will be judging you on techniques and how well you execute those techniques. So if you're going from head to toe, you're likely to repeat yourself. My helmet was foam, my breastplate was foam, I've used organza here, and I've used organza down here as well. You may repeat yourself constantly, and we get it. You've got the points for it. We don't need to keep on doing this point. You've checked the box. Let's move on to other techniques. If you can put it in the same order of techniques, you're giving us what we want. You are handing us the information we need, making it so we can digest it and mark you more positively. Please keep that in mind. It's not a bad thing to go head to toe if that helps you remember, but in prejudging, we're not marking you on how you do your speech. We just need the information from you. Take cue cards in with you. Have a person come in with a teleprompter if that helps you. Yeah. Whatever it takes you to get your speech out, you do it. Feel comfortable in the prejudging room. We want you to be. Bring whatever you need in to help you say your speech. Have it on a script. It may not flow so well, but we want the information from you first and foremost. Give us what we need to mark you well.
Next.
Please.
It's not working.
There we go. All right. As you can probably tell from the 4 types of judges we spoke about earlier, 3 out of the 4 types of judges are going to be looking for photos. Again, I myself, they're one of the first things I see. They are eye-catching, they're interesting, and we all know the phrase that a photo says 1,000 words. It tells a lot just from looking at it. Look how cute that cat is. You can tell he's a very needy cat just from looking at it. You don't need me to put, he is, yeah, look at him. You don't need me putting a little annotation underneath explaining what's happening in that photo. It speaks for itself. A lot of photos do just speak for themselves. If you feel like you don't want to put text in your bill book, again, that's valid. Sometimes you may need to explain what the photo is doing, but if it speaks for itself, again, it's the most important part. Use them to showcase your process. This again is a little bit all over there. Watch out for the
specific.
Yeah, the page seam. When you're getting a bill book printed, if it is too close to the center, it may blur it, smear it. Just watch out if you're putting anything too close to the seam. Most people are right-handed. They read when they turn a page. Look at the rightmost photo first. Again, we're talking 4D chest here. Probably, I don't know. You're never going to need to worry about that. You can tell I overthink this to a great degree. It might be all the difference, who knows, but I can't guarantee that to you. Just think, how is this going to read, more importantly? That's a better way to describe what I'm trying to say there. Also, one thing that I don't do, that I encourage you to do, is put a finished photo of your costume next to the reference. I don't do that because I'm hypercritical of my own work, and I will degrade myself to all end if I'm looking at the reference to what I've done. They could be alike for all I know, but all I can see is the negative, so I don't. But if you can show that your work is one-to-one accurate and alike the reference you're copying, please do it. Again, you are spelling it out for the judge that you are for lack of a better word, perfect.
One step more than that, if you can put it on the front page, then even the one judge that doesn't even look at your bill book will see it as well.
I love Iron Brew. Thank you. Glasgow, you're amazing. Okay, text. Debatably, the least important part is putting text in, but there are ways you can make this catch out to most judges. Try and control their gaze. Use italics, underlining, different colors. I am a judge that glances through it, and I'll pick out every other word. I want you to tell me what words I need to read. You look at this, maybe not actually from this distance, but the blue parts, the orange parts, they stick out to you much clearer than anything in white here. Make it so that I know what you want me to read. Put your important techniques there. Control where I'm looking. Make this easy for me. Give it to me on a silver platter. We've said about do not repeating yourself. Ironic, I know, but there we are. Use this as an opportunity to elaborate in-depth points. An example for that is I did some electroplating work for the World Champion build that I did. I don't have time to talk about electrochemistry in depth. I have
5 minutes.
5 minutes to talk about everything at a World Finals contest here. I don't have time to tell you the basics of electrochemistry or how these alloys are bonding. All I can do is glance it quickly and hope you read the wonderful chart that I put in my build book so you can go
And
through it more
also
in
tell them
depth.
it's in your bill book.
Yeah, please do tell them it's in your build
Just
book as
feel
well.
like that's what
But it gives you an opportunity to cut some time out of your pre-judging speech and for them to go and look for it a bit later.
You missed an important one. Do not highlight negative aspects.
Oh my word.
Do not put negative things in your build book. The judges do not need to know anything bad about your build.
Do not degrade yourself. You need to be your own biggest fan. If you're entering a contest, sure, you might be entering because you want to learn and grow from it, but the best way you're going to do that is by being your own best friend.
We do not need to know that you cut your fabric wrong the first time you did it.
Yeah, I don't
You
need...
do not
okay.
need to tell us that.
There is a list of things I don't need you to tell me in prejudging, and they're all negative. I don't need to know about the trials and tribulations and what this character means to you. I appreciate that, but this isn't going to get you techniques. I don't need to know about your childhood trauma. I don't need to, and these are all things I have heard or been told in prejudging. I don't need to know these. We're here for one thing. It is your costume. You need to be your best friend, and we're not going to bully our best friends. We're going to big them up and praise them. Talk positive only. I don't care that it took you 4 attempts to do this. It's great that you've learned, developed, but I need to focus on the end product now. Let's make sure we're giving that the best format and presentation it can receive. For that point too, be clear, be concise, hit your points, keep it tight with surgical precision, waste no time. Again, most people are only going to be able to pick out small sentences from your build book. Even in prejudging, we're going to be bouncing back and forth all over the place. Just keep it to the point as much as you can. Edit. You don't need to include absolutely every photo. You don't need to include absolutely every sentence. Keep it edited. I know it's a shame that you won't be able to get every single wonderful photo of your build and its progress in your build book, but that's what social media is for. Put it on there. Your audience will love your demographics, etc., etc. But keep it clear.
What's next?
I'm glad I put photos of my kid. Okay, that ends our build book section. We're now talking about feedback. Feedback is important both as a judge and as a competitor. The reason for that is it's your opportunity as a contestant to demand accountability from your judges. But it's also our chance as a judge to give you an explanation to why you did or did not place or accomplish what you set out to accomplish. Feedback is so important. I have had so many grating experiences with feedback to the extent we are now going to talk about it. And that's a wonderful photo of myself there eating takoyaki. Taiyaki, yeah. With a white monster. Or is that Red Bull? It's not important, sorry. ADHD,
Picture
can you
says
tell?
1,000 words, Matthew.
A picture
What
does
does
say
this picture
1,000
tell you?
words. Okay, what do we mean by feedback? So feedback is you approaching a judge or messaging them, asking, what feedback do you have for me? And a judge will then say, here are all the things that I liked or disliked or you can improve on from your build. It is essentially, exactly as it is, feedback detailing all the points that we have understood and processed from your work. What is the value of feedback? It allows you to improve. You're not going to know what you could improve on if you're not going to be able to find out. If a judge never tells you what they marked you down on, you won't know what you're doing wrong. But for the same point, you're also not going to know what you're doing right if no one tells you that, hey, your wig was spectacular. There's a career for you in wig work. I wouldn't have got into leatherwork the way that I did if I wasn't told I was good at leatherwork by a guy who made samurai armor for Jason Momoa. Like, I would not have gone into these things if I didn't get positive reinforcement as well as constructive things to work on. You don't know, or you're going to depreciate yourself, or you're going to have imposter syndrome. A million one things is going to go through your head, and you're not going to know what you're doing right or wrong unless you ask. So please, do ask. All right, it's also our chance to prove our commitment to your growth as a judge, and I'd also say be certain that you want feedback. And don't force it on others. There are plenty of judges who will track you down, pin you to the floor, and start telling you feedback. Run is my best advice. Run fast. They can be quite quick. The other thing, too, is know within yourself that you are now emotionally ready for feedback. Contest day has just ended. You've been through a lot. You've been up early. You put makeup on, your outfit on. You have gone through a long day by this point.
You've been in cosplay for hours.
Yeah, I mean,
you've gone
as
in
it is, walking through
you've
a
waited
con.
backstage. You've gone under stage lights.
You've gone through a lot today. This might not be the time that you are ready to start processing constructive feedback. Take a breath, take a break, have some water, decompress for a night at least. Give it a bit of time. You can always message a judge and ask them for feedback later. A good judge, this is the most important part of their job. They're not just here to pick who wins and who loses. They are here as a commitment to your growth. They will need to make sure that they are able to provide that. Obviously, don't leave it too long before asking for feedback. Otherwise, they're going to forget. Photos do help when it's in the prejudge room to remind us of points.
You can also message them and then not open the message when they reply. Just open it when you're ready.
Ask for it and come back to that later. Come back to it a month later or a year later. Whatever it takes for you to be ready in yourself that you're now emotionally ready, prepared to grow again. Let's kick this off. So, as a competitor, receiving feedback. Some obvious do's and don'ts here.
Yep.
Digest and process. So you've been given feedback. What you may not know is how to identify what is useful feedback to you. So let's use this panel as an example here, okay? And I'm asking you for feedback. You may say to me that you don't like that I use a lot of jokes in my panels, or you don't like that I use cat photos or Pingu here in my panels, okay? Okay. Why don't you like the jokes in my panels?
Why is always
I don't
a
like
question.
jokes in panels. Okay.
That doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad panel. It means that this panel is not for you. And
Exactly.
that's fine.
This panel wasn't for you. There's nothing that I want to change by that because I think jokes are important. I can justify it because I like to use jokes as a way to make sure you're paying attention. I like it so you can see who I am a little bit better. I like it as a way to make sure the audience is staying checked in. All right? Thank you for your feedback, but this panel wasn't for you. All right, now let's say you don't like my jokes and you can give me examples. I don't like that you put Pingu here because I don't think it's tonally appropriate. I think you could have put Pingu at a way better point next to a photo of Morris and it would have landed much better. Okay, you have given me an example there. You understand what I'm going for with this panel. Thank you, that's good feedback. I will work and improve upon that. The same applies to costumes. Okay, you don't like how I used leather here for whatever reason, but you think an alternative would have been better and you can provide that alternative. Example, explanation, this is good feedback, I can work with that. But saying, I didn't like your performance, I didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
What do I do with that?
What did you not get?
What didn't you get? Like, you've got to understand when a judge may not have judged you well.
Performance is subjective as well, but the other thing is even if you genuinely don't get it and you can't pinpoint why as a judge, there are other things that you can judge on when it comes to performance. Maybe you didn't understand the concept, but did you like their stage presence? Did you like their props? Did you like how they interacted with their props? Did you like their audio? There are many things that you can comment on if you don't understand something. And for a judge to just say, I don't get it, is a bit of a cop-out.
There are a lot of people who judge often who aren't good judges and can't hold themselves accountable and don't give good feedback. And you will know when you ask for feedback and either you don't get it at all, as in like they actually don't give you any feedback in return, they're not making themselves accountable. It's going to be something that you're going to pick up as you go through the competitive circuit. knowing how to process feedback is so important. Knowing when it is time for you to improve and knowing when it just didn't work out this time. Because I don't care how good you are, I don't care how talented you are, I don't care how lucky you are. Sometimes things aren't going to go right. That's just life. Sometimes things are just not going to go right. Doesn't matter what you do, just life and... Can we swear in here?
No.
We can't, okay.
Life and stuff.
Life and poo-poo happens. There you go, you know what I mean. It is what it is. Carry on. Don't give up.
Don't. What's the don't?
Yeah. Also, to that point, don't argue or fight back. You can start a confrontation trying to prove that your judge was actually wrong in their feedback, but you're likely going to find this isn't a very constructive dialogue. Take your feedback, process it in your own time. Thank you for your time. We move on. If you start fighting back, it starts an era of confrontation, and it may then get organizers involved, and they may no longer want you competing at this event. All right? Put yourself first. If you got unlucky with a bad judging panel, it is what it is. I wish there was more I could do to try and make a world of better judges who give better feedback, but we're fighting the tide here. I really, really wish I could. Okay, fight forward, push through it, find your own way. Identify what your strengths are and what can be improved. Positive feedback. I know what I did well. I'm going to keep doing well. I now know what I can work on or what they spotted. I have learned from my competitive experience what they're going to be looking for in the judging room. Cool. Identify what those points are. I mean, for the most part, when it comes to our builds, we are our own worst judges. No one has spent more time with your costume than yourself. You're probably going to know what's wrong with it, but it's validating to hear it, but also validating to hear what is good about it. Because again, imposter syndrome takes over and we start not being able to see the sky from the clouds. Okay, obviously do not go online and start a witch hunt.
You would think we don't have to say this, but we do.
But we do. All it does is make you look like you're a bad loser.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what the actual reality of the fact is. If you start generating hate online, people will point to you and say you're a bad loser and toxic. It doesn't matter how justified you are. People will draw the narratives that they want to draw. Social media is not your ally. Don't pretend that it is. It's not there to help you. It's only going to make you go crazy. And joy is the death of comparison. Comparison is the death of joy. Wow, I messed that up. Comparison is the death of joy.
What you could do instead is maybe have one or two trusted friends and just vent to them afterwards. You don't need to go online. It doesn't need to even be in a group chat. Everyone's allowed to be upset if you didn't win something, and just have a bit of a vent to some friends. And then it's gone and it's out there.
Yeah,
we move on.
Please don't get me wrong with this point. You have put a lot of work, presumably, into your costume by the time that you've got to a competitive point. If you are allowed to be upset that you didn't place or win or achieve what you were hoping to achieve, you are so allowed to feel that way. Everyone goes online and says you have to be a good competitor, you can't be sad, you have to keep a smiling face on. No, you are allowed to mourn for the time that you put in for this. You need time to develop. You are not going to be able to develop unless you let yourself hurt at least a little bit. That is okay. Don't start pointing fingers and saying my work is better at that person. This is not about them. It's not about anyone else. This is about you in the moment. If you need to be sad, but make sure you carry on, all right?
And don't take it out on other people.
Yeah, don't take it out on other people. Okay, and last 2 points here. Evaluate if competitive circuits are for you. You may find a certain type of contest isn't for you. I think WCS is an easy one to point to.
Why does it have to be in Japan, though?
I know. If we had the ECG rules and it was in Japan, I would compete with that all day, every day. WCS, an example. They want only Japanese media, but you don't love most Japanese media, but you're always trying to go to Japan and do their contest, or maybe you've qualified and you've seen that all the paperwork they send you is too much for you.
Lots.
This competitive circuit might not be for you.
You also can't have any copyrighted music or audio. It's a very difficult contest for the rules.
Understand if what you've been through was actually for you. Is this contest inherently working to your strengths? Is not having copyright music such a huge detriment? You need to make sure you're loving your hobby, because to most of us, this is just a hobby. You need to make sure that you are enjoying it. Don't force a square peg into a round hole where you can't make it. Look around. See if there is another contest that's better fitted to your criteria. Maybe you actually really don't like performing, but you really want to be on stage. Okay, well, why don't you enter in for Crown where you get a little stage walk and there's an element to it? You're still going to get your moment in the spotlight, but it's focusing more on the aspect you like, which is presumably craftsmanship. Or there's, I was going to say GCOF, but we don't have that in the country, which is all performance. One day we'll get an all performance-based contest. But there are alternatives. Understand whether the contest itself, within its rule set and structure, was actually at fault. Is that going to be the breaking point? And obviously, please don't give up because of it. Make sure you're ready to process feedback, like I said earlier. I'm holding this the wrong way around, aren't I? Hey, that was nearly a mistake.
Is that why it's not working?
Okay, now, as a judge from the other side, anybody here judged before? I know you have. This is your first day. Welcome. So, how to give feedback as a judge?
I would say this also goes for if you have a friend that's making something that they're going to enter into a competition and they ask you for feedback.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have to be a judge for this
Your
part to be
friend
relevant.
is asking you, how does this look? Know how to deliver the information to them. Okay, so first of all, and I hate that I have to say this, but I will, make an effort. I have judged with some, how to put this tactfully, well-known people, and the best feedback that I've seen them give is, nice wig. What do you mean? I've just lost the clicker. What do you mean, nice wig? Okay, this person hasn't placed, and all you can say is nice wig? Is my wig so nice? Like, you can't talk about anything else? It's
my
just
wig
so
was so
blinding, it's
nice,
overwhelming?
why didn't I win anything?
Exactly. You need to make an effort, especially if this is your full-time job. You must make an effort. Feedback, again, is the way that a judge is accountable to you as a contestant. You have obeyed the rules. You have kept your behavior in check. Judges are not immune to this. We don't need to be on a pedestal. We are doing a service and we are working for you. This is your chance to demand accountability. We as judges must commit and make an effort. So, understand that the effort a contestant has made, it will always dwarf your own. They have spent months working on their outfit, sometimes years working on an outfit, and it has come down to this final moment in a matter of minutes over an hour or two, and one day at least. Okay? That one day is everything to them now. You can spend 10 minutes writing feedback. Sometimes I spend an hour writing feedback because no matter how long I'm writing feedback for, I'm not going to start an essay that is going to take 11 months to write. The amount of time that the contestant has put into their costume always demands a well-explained amount of feedback. Also, again, don't focus on negative points. You must deliver your information constructively. So, I didn't like this didn't work out, or how will we want to put this? Here's an example of why it didn't work, but here's a solution that you should do instead, okay? Here's the evidence, here's the explanation, here is how you're going to change that, or how you could change that. Let's start brainstorming ideas, okay? You need to be constructive. This applies to all feedback in general. You must always be constructive. Yeah. You don't like your boss at work. Okay, here is why I don't like my boss at work. Here is what he does. Here's what I'd like you to do to improve it. Yeah. You are setting a path forward on how we can change, okay? You don't have to stick to that path, but I'm offering a solution to what is potentially a problem, or at least a hang-up, okay? Be constructive. Poo sandwich it. You know what I mean by this. You want to say a good thing, then a negative thing, then a good thing. While staying constructive, you want to make sure you're delivering that information in a digestible way. What is the time, by the way? Are we running out of time? Someone in the audience, shout out the time for me. 12. Hey, we got 9 minutes. Okay, let's hurry through this then.
Okay.
Okay. Consider your terminology and tact. Don't say, you lost because of X, or I didn't like this. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't focus too much on negative terminology. Yeah. People are going to take feedback truly to heart. This is a vulnerable moment for them. If you say that I didn't like this, cool. I'm going to set that on fire. People will have blown up reactions over what you tell them, because what you say to them as a judge is going to mean everything right now in that moment.
Why you didn't like it and how they could improve it instead.
Understand what level of feedback they need as well. Okay, you've got a beginner. They don't need master level feedback. Okay, you do not need to write a huge essay detailing everything that needs to be improved. Okay, there are broad strokes here we can cover. Let's start there. Compete again. We'll come back to this again later. Just show me that you can improve. We don't need to fix everything overnight. Focus on broad strokes. And please don't share other people's feedback. This is something quite personal and unique to an individual. It doesn't need to go outside anywhere than the dialogue you're in between. All right.
The Q&A. I think there's some pre-ones on there, isn't there?
Yeah, we probably don't have time to go through questions and answers at this point, but we do have some prepared. Just quickly. I love that pig emoji. It's so funny.
Oh, I was looking at the one of Morris.
Okay, what makes a good design? I fully got given this by Bambi. This is a really good chart for identifying what is a good competitive level to work towards. So, in judging, a simplistic design is certainly not going to do especially well. The reason for that is, let's say we're judging techniques, you can see pretty much every technique you could possibly cram in there. Even if you were to make your own trainers, weave your own tie, make your own belt, there still isn't loads to work with here. There's only so far a simplistic design can do. A moderate design has a better choice. You generally see these doing quite well at a more beginner level, just because they have advanced elements here. Pleating's not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to do. Getting a really tight fit on the sailor outfit, also not entirely easy to do. It's a good way to start getting your toe in the water, but you're not really going to see moderate designs in general at a master level. Complex and ambitious are more what you're going to see. There's a lot of elements happening on the complex design, but you compare it to something that's ambitious, there is a lot happening here. There's a lot that you need to do. That final design is going to take you up to probably about a year to accomplish. In fact, I think it was Jackie in the Crown Circuit who made that exact outfit. And she won World Finals with that exact outfit. She made the ball spin and everything. It wasn't crazy. She's a world champion and a wonderful human being for that reason. Here's a good way of understanding what you can identify within a design. How many elements does it have? How many techniques does it have? What is going to be the level of commitment you need to put in to make this work? What different materials are there? Keep these in mind. Again, simplistic, probably not going to do so well. Ambitious, it can do really well, but if you execute everything poorly, it's probably not going to go much further than that. This is an easy one. What motivates you the most when deciding on a build?
I think we have different answers for this.
We do. For me, I like music so much. Music is everything. I like thinking about what I want to post my photo to, and that is enough to commit me to a build. I want to do a Death Stranding cosplay just because I love the music from Death Stranding so much. That's my main motivator.
If Instagram ever removed the music feature, you're just never going to cosplay ever again.
No, I would just stop using Instagram if they got rid of the music feature. There'd be no point to me. What was your answer?
For me, I like doing stuff with friends. So actually, the Cersei outfit, I decided to do Cersei because you were doing Ned Stark, if you remember. So we
I love
could match.
that Ned Stark outfit.
Yeah. But there's other one, I'm really into the Helliverse at the moment. And I got all my friends to watch it just so that I could be like, can you cosplay this character so we can all go to con together and we'll match? I just like doing stuff with friends.
Yeah, I think the power of friendship will win everything. There we go. That's the moral of the story here, the power of friendship. The most expensive cosplay ever made. Yeah, without a doubt, it is the Crown build, just because...
Do you think it is? It could be Pookie Pookie at this point. Because that was 2 outfits that we had to make.
We don't think about the money involved. We think about the money involved. I'm giving up, all right? I do not need to know how much money I have sunk into thing. And what you always find is cosplays are death by 1,000 cuts. All right, I need to buy rivets for this costume. I'll buy 100 rivets. Yeah. Oh, I need to buy 100 more rivets. Okay. I still need more rivets. Where are these rivets going?
I feel like most people will budget in, like, right, I need this amount of green leather and it's going to cost me a lot of money and I will budget for that. That's great. But then you're like, now I need leather paint as well. And now I need
There's a million things
screws.
tacked on to everything.
Now I need buckles.
It's all the little things that make something expensive rather than the big, like, pieces that you need. How do you deal with burnout when working on a competitive cosplay? This is really tough, and the more time that goes on, the more I'm realizing that burnout is just not easy to get through. Everyone says, take a break, okay? You are now tired of this cosplay, you're now tired of working on this, how are you going to get through it? Just take a break, go play some games, go watch some anime, go live life, run into the woods, frolic.
Touch grass.
Yeah, touch grass. Relax your brain, and you'll come back to it when you're refreshed. You might not.
But
I'm
Matthew
starting to
has
realize-
a ADHD neurospicy brain, so if
Yeah.
he takes a long break from something, it's never ever going to get picked up ever again.
That's totally possible. Sometimes the problems that made you stop making the costume are just going to ferment. And they're just going to get bigger and bigger in your brain, bigger than they ever were to begin with. And you're probably just going to not come back to it. Which, if that is what happens, that's what happens. You know, you'll find something else that you want to make again. Maybe you will pick it up, maybe you won't. Life is going to move on, but if you're not enjoying it, then stop is what I would say.
Sometimes moving on to a different aspect of the build. So, for example, the Warhammer ones that you're making at the moment, you got to a point where you were like, I just don't want to make armor. I just can't be bothered. So I'm going to make props instead. And you just made all the weapons.
I know I want to make armor again, so it does sometimes pick up. Just, I think, take a break is fine. Just understand that you may be giving up the whole build in the long scheme of things.
Is there another one? Oh, there is.
How do you do with nerves before going on stage? I just run at it.
No.
I don't think.
White Monster.
Oh yeah, White Monster.
That's you.
Yeah.
White
Just
Monster and a vape.
hype myself up. Yeah. I try not to overthink anything. If you overthink it, the problem becomes bigger in your head than it ever was. The nerves will just start to take over. If you start to think about what you're going to do, you're going to overthink it and get worried.
No, I disagree. I'm the opposite. I will practice and practice and practice and practice over and over and over and over
So you're
again
confident
until
with
it's
it,
like
that's
muscle
fine.
memory, and then I'm like, well, I'm not nervous because I've done this a million times at this point. At that point, I'm like, I just want it over. I don't want to do it anymore.
I mean, for like going on stage, I get that when you're doing a performance, yes, be confident in what you're doing. But for me, walking from there to here, not a single brain cell activated. I was just here, and now I'm talking, okay? That's how I get on stage. I just don't think about it. I kind of just lock in on like one or two people in the audience and start talking to them. I phase out.
The worst bit is actually not the stage. It's lining up behind the stage, waiting for your turn to gun on, and then DJ Elliott decides he's going to do a dance competition halfway through, and it takes half an hour, and you're just stood there in this costume that you've been wearing all day, and you're like, please, I just want to go on stage.
Yeah. I do think this is the last question, so we'll wrap it up here. But thank you for your time, everyone. I hope you have an amazing weekend.
Do we have time?
Thank you very much.